Hello friends, my name is Harsh. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So today we will be discussing about the ES6 features, which is called module. So we will discuss about how we can use the modules which is introduced in ES6. Even it was there in ES5 also, but they just added the export and import functionality which we can use. So what exactly the module is? Module basically we use to reuse the code again and again in JavaScript, because unfortunately in JavaScript we do not have the namespace concept. Like if you know Java or PHP, we have the namespace concept which we use to organize the code. But in JavaScript we don't have the namespace concept. So how we can organize the code? So to organize the code, we can just use the modular concept. Either we can use ES5 and ES6. So we are discussing about the ES6 in this video. Alright, so now let's understand this module concept using the example. So I'm just going in my VS Code, and I already have this React with Redux folder in my desktop. So I'm just taking the same in my VS Code, and then inside the day3 I'm just creating a new file, and the file name is 01.js. So first I just want to create a module, and then that module I want to use it in my other file. So this module concept help a lot if you want to reuse the code, as I said. So for example, we can have a math.js which is having this function, then we can have app.js where we can import the same. So in most of the libraries and framework like AngularJS, Vue.js, React.js, they are using the same export and import functionality. All right, so let's see the example now. So instead of 01.js, let's say I'm just saying I have a file called math.util.js, and here I'm just going to create three functions. I will be using the export there, and then I will show you how we can import the same. So I'm just saying export constant add. So I'm just creating an add function. So let's say this function is uh, okay, I'm using the GitHub Copilot just to increase the speed. So I'm just taking this line right now. So you will be knowing how to use the AI also, because it is needed nowadays. And then I'll be explaining the code. So I'm just taking this line just to save the time. So this is the add function. This is the arrow function. And in this function, we are just doing the addition. Now let's say I want to have one multiply also. So I can say export const and then multiply. Now in this multiply, we are just having the multiply function. This is again the arrow function. So I just created add function and the multiply function. After that, I'm just creating a grid function, let's say. So I'm just writing export default, and I just want to have the grid here. So grid, and this is a function. So we can just write the function first. So function, and function is grid. Now this function will be taking the argument name, and then inside the name we can just write whatever we want to do. Just 1 second, let me retype it, because sometimes the AI is coming in between, so it is disturbing as well, so we can ignore it. So I'm just saying grid and the name, and then this return hello name. That's it. So this is basically the function. We are just exporting it here, passing the argument as a name, and returning hello name. So the moment we'll be calling the function and passing the name, we can see hello name. So this is basically the template literal ES6 which we have already discussed earlier, and this is just a normal function which I am using it here. Now we have three functions like add function, multiply, and grid function, and now we just want to use this as a module. So we have already done the export. So one step we have done, and the advantage of using the module, as I said, we can reuse the code, organize the code. So if I want to use the same code in my other file, so let's say I have another file called index.js. Now in the index.js, I just want to import the functions which I have. So I have the grid function, so I can just say grid, and then I'm just taking the add and multiply from the math util. Now, what is this math util? This is having the add, multiply, and here I'm using default. So if you can see here, I'm just using the normal function. Here I'm using the default. So whenever we are using the default, and if we want to import it, we do not need to, have the curly braces here. We can directly import the function if it is default. The similar kind of approach we are using in React.js as well. We are always using their export default and the component name, and we are just importing the code like this. So this is import grid, and then I want to import the add and multiply from this. Now, we can just call the same. So we can just have, let's say, console.log. I want to call the add. So console.log add, and in the add we have a comma b. So we are just passing 2, 3, and the moment we are passing 2, 3, we'll be getting the output is 5. Now suppose if I want to call the multiply as well. So again I can just say console.log multiply, and I'm just passing the 4, 5. So the output will be 20, because in the multiply, uh, whatever argument we are passing or whatever parameter, so we are just getting the multiplication for it. Now next is, I just want to call the grid function also. So I can just say console.log, and in the grid, let's say I'm just passing the Harsh. So the moment I'll be passing the Harsh, so here will be Harsh only. So if you can see in the math util, I can directly go, it's taking time. So yeah, so you can see the moment I'll be passing here name. So let's say if it is Harsh, so it will be printing hello Harsh. So now I just want to run this code. So we can just right click and go into the integrated terminal. And here I can just say node index.js. The moment I'll be saying node index.js, it means I want to execute this index.js using Node.js, and I can press enter. So if you can see right now, I'm getting the error like module is not found. So what we can do is, because sometime when we are using the AI, this kind of issues also come into the picture. So explicitly we can mention the JS file basically. The moment we'll be mentioning the JS file, then we will not be getting the error which we are getting it right now. Because somehow, when we are importing it, it is not able to import it. That is the reason we are getting the error. So the moment I am saying node index.js, now you can see first we are having 2, 3, which is 5. Then we have 5 into 4, 20, and then we are just passing the hash and we are getting the same. So this is how we can use the JavaScript ES6 module concept to organize the code, to reuse the code. We can just export it, and then wherever we want to import it, like I want to import it into the index.js, so we can just import it. If it is default, we can directly import. If it is just a normal export, we can just put a curly braces and put a comma, and then we can directly use the code. So this is how we can use the ES6 module concept. We can do the export and import, and we can reuse the code again and again. So hope you like this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.